Important story in the National Post today. The Canadian Armed Forces conducted an information operation against Canadian citizens last year in support of Trudeau's lockdown message. It was a psychological manipulation of our own people. Now, this is shocking, but it's totally in keeping with Trudeau's authoritarian stance. It's what you'd expect from a military in an authoritarian regime, say like China.
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime.
We've seen armed forces being used in Australia recently with their lockdowns, armed with guns in the streets to intimidate and terrify. Take a look at this, a strange ambush.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
What's that all about? Drawing weapons on civilians? It's outrageous. The armed forces, funded, staffed, created by law to defend, in that case Australia, against foreign aggressors, now being used to intimidate Australian citizens peacefully protesting. So outrageous. The police are atrocious down there enough. I mean, look at this.
Earlier on, we've asked him, we've given permission to move on, and he's returned. So.
He lives 500 metres that way.
Yeah, we told
when
him
you guys
to
check that, it's going to be really awkward.
I'm not going to argue with you.
So what? Okay, can I ask what he's been arrested for? Watch me. Watch me what?
Let me come over here.
No, I'm fine here. Thank you. You can explain it here.
What's happened earlier on is we've seen your friend.
You've explained that. It's not necessary.
And we've given you a direction to move on.
I understand
and
that.
Not return.
He's not returning his own. He lives a block away.
Yeah, but he has no.
So what do you mean?
He has no reason to be here. He doesn't have a valid reason to be out today. He wasn't wearing a face mask.
Hold on, he has a face mask in his pocket. He was just smoking a cigarette. He just came to get lunch with
You don't
me.
understand the whole picture anyway.
Oh, what do you mean? I've been living here this whole time. What do you mean?
Can you record this, please? You're currently under arrest for breaching the chief health officer's.
I live 200 metres up the road. We're all going for a walk. What do you mean? I've gone to meet my friends, which I told your friends before.
I literally have food in my hand.
She's gone to get a kebab and we're going for a walk. And the reason I didn't have a mask on was because I was having a cigarette. I've got 2 masks in my pocket. Like, what else do you want me to do?
Pretty much.
That country is so far gone. But how about us? Our own military is conducting exercises against us. At least in Australia, they show their face. Here, they engage in psyops against us, psychological operations. Let me read. Here's the story in the Post. It says, military leaders saw a pandemic as unique opportunity to test propaganda on Canadians, report says. A plan devised by the Canadian Joint Operations Command relied on propaganda techniques similar to those employed during the Afghan War. Testing propaganda on Canadians. Are they still doing that, by the way? That's the thing about propaganda. It often doesn't work as well if you tell people you're doing it. Some propaganda is white propaganda. It's like a public service announcement. You see who's saying it, you can understand why. It's, they're trying to manipulate you, but it's like any other ad. You know who's saying it and why. But gray propaganda, as it's called, is a little bit vague. But you sort of still know what's going on. But black propaganda is the name given to it when you're being tricked. For example, we just now learned from the New York Times, no less, that the January 6th insurrection on Capitol Hill was actually led by FBI informants and undercover agents. That's a kind of propaganda. Do something provocative, but with a hidden hand, a false flag, to cause disrepute to your enemy. Now, you expect that in politics. You just don't usually expect it from the FBI. That's an excerpt from my daily show, The Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.